So, a lot of us get that routine blood test done every year, right? You get the results back, and it's just a page full of numbers and acronyms. But what does it all really mean? Well, it turns out it's telling a super detailed story about your health. Today, we're going to decode 8 of the most essential checks that could give you a life-saving heads up. And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You might feel totally fine. You're going about your day. Everything seems normal. But our bodies? They're incredibly complex systems, and a blood test gives us this rare chance to peek under the hood, to see the subtle changes happening long before they ever become symptoms you can actually feel.
I want you to think of that little vial of blood as your body's annual report card. It's honestly one of the most powerful preventative tools we have. It's like a built-in early warning system. And if you understand what these tests are actually looking for, you can turn that report from just a piece of paper into a real roadmap for a healthier future.
All right, so first up, let's look at the tests that give us that broad overview. You know, the general snapshot of your health. These are usually the first alarms, the first signs that something might need a closer look.
The first one is the complete blood count, or CBC. And it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a census of your blood cells. This is one of the most common tests out there, and for good reason. It counts and evaluates all the main players swimming around in your bloodstream, giving your doctor some really vital clues about your overall health.
So what's it actually checking? Well, you've got your red blood cells. These are the guys carrying oxygen everywhere. If this count is low, it might point to anemia, which could explain why you feel wiped out all the time. Then there are your white blood cells, your body's little army. If that number's high, it suggests your body is busy fighting off an infection. And platelets, they're your emergency crew. If their number's off, you might notice you bruise easily, because they're in charge of clotting. See? Each number tells a piece of the story.
Next up are these things called CRP and ESR. Now, those are some fancy names, C-reactive protein and erythrocyte sedimentation rate, but the slide calls them smoke detectors, and that is the perfect analogy. These tests don't tell you where the fire is, but they absolutely sound the alarm that there's some hidden inflammation happening somewhere in your body. A high number here just tells your doctor, hey, we need to investigate this a little more.
Now let's pop the hood and check on your metabolic engine. This next group of tests looks at how your body is processing its fuel. We're talking sugars and fats. And trust me, how well this engine runs is absolutely critical for your long-term health.
So here we have two sides of the same metabolic coin. On one side, you have your lipid profile. This looks at fats, like cholesterol, and it gives you a kind of long-term forecast for your heart disease risk. On the other side, you have your blood sugar tests. These track how your body handles sugar, which is a much more immediate look at your risk for things like diabetes. You really need both to get the full picture. Just think about that for a second. Your cholesterol levels today are offering you a preview of your future heart health. When you monitor them, you get the power to make changes right now, whether it's with your diet or with medicine, to protect your heart for decades to come. It is all about playing the long game.
Now, why is this HbA1c number so important? Well, a regular one-time blood sugar test is just a snapshot in that exact moment. But the HbA1c test is different. It checks how much sugar is literally stuck to your red blood cells, which gives you an average of your blood sugar over the last 3 months. It tells a much more reliable story of how your body is managing sugar over time. All right, let's shift gears and talk about 2 of the hardest working organs in your entire body. These next tests are basically performance reviews for your internal filter and your main chemical factory.
Your liver is an absolute powerhouse. It processes pretty much everything you eat, drink, and absorb. So the liver function test, or LFT, is kind of like an emissions check for that factory. It measures specific enzymes and proteins to see if it's running cleanly. If those levels are high, it could mean your liver is stressed or damaged, way before you'd ever feel a thing.
And then you've got your kidneys, your body's super sophisticated filtration system. The kidney function test, or KFT, checks how well they're clearing waste out of your blood. You can think of it like checking the filter on a high-end engine. If that filter gets clogged, the whole system is going to suffer. This test gives you that early warning if things are starting to back up. And finally, let's look at the tests that really govern your day-to-day energy levels, your mood, and that whole complex communication network that keeps your body in balance. We're talking hormones and essential vitamins. The Thyroid Profile checks on key hormones like TSH, T3, and T4. Have you ever felt just persistently tired? Or sluggish, or just off? Your thyroid could totally be the culprit. It's the master regulator of your entire metabolism, so if it's out of balance, it can affect everything from your weight, to your energy, to your mood. And last but not least, let's talk about key vitamins. You might be surprised that even with a really healthy diet, a lot of people are deficient in these. Vitamin D is so important for your immune system and your bones. And vitamin B12? It's absolutely crucial for your nerves and for creating energy. Checking these levels can sometimes uncover a really simple fix for some otherwise confusing symptoms.
So, what's the big takeaway here? The goal of all these tests isn't free to go home and self-diagnose on the internet. No. The real power is in creating your personal health baseline. This data empowers you so you can walk into your doctor's office and have a much more informed, productive conversation about your health year after year.
So really, your annual health story is being written one blood test at a time. It's a new chapter every single year, it shows you where you've been, and it gives you some major clues about where you're headed. The only question left is, are you ready to actually read it and maybe help write the next, healthier chapter yourself?